Hello and welcome to another replay analysis. Today we have Dingles, who is Diamond League, and he's going up against a Zerg player. This is a Protoss versus Zerg. We're going to be looking at this game from the Protoss' perspective. Replay analysis, let's go. Dragon Cow is the opponent. Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, you already chrono boosted way too fast. Don't ever chrono boost until your first pylon's done. That's number one, because now you're going to supply block. Notice how you still have a chrono boost on the Nexus and you can't even use it because you don't have enough money to make a probe. And then also, I mean, you just, you know, so you have a chrono boost that has probes sitting there doing nothing. Now, or like you have the chrono boost itself is doing nothing on the Nexus. The Nexus is idle. Don't ever chrono boost until your first pylon is done and then chrono boost, because then you get full benefit of it. And right now you're like making probes too fast and then you have to stop. So don't do that. You do the chrono boost when your pylon is done, as you make the gateway. Also, I would highly recommend you leave your probe that builds the pylon to go scout, or that's gonna scout. Leave him to build the gateway and then scout. Just literally leave him here. If you do it against Terran and Zerg, or Terran and Protoss, or if you build your pylon over here or whatever, you can build the pylon and go back to mining and then build the gateway and then go across the map. But if you do it against Zerg where you're doing it in front of your natural, just leave the probe at the pylon, because for the probe to go all the way back here, start mining, go all the way back here, you're gonna not get any fucking shit done. You're gonna have to just literally touch the mineral patch and go right back. So just leave the probe here. That way you don't have to pull two probes off. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the difference of what you're going to see from the pylon scout or the gateway scout is going to be very minor. And I already don't expect. The only way it's really worth a benefit to do a pylon scout against Zerg is if you're going to disrupt the Zerg by getting in the way of their natural, within, you know, by building a pylon or something. Mila. Hi. And then you're going to follow that up with like, what's it called? Aggression. Like adept aggression or something. I don't recommend you do that, especially in Diamond League. Just gateway scout. Make your life easy. Don't pylon scout. Right now you should be chrono boosting your probes. So he's already got a base down. You don't think getting that first probe out quickly is worth it? Definitely not. You want to know why? You want to know the big reason why? If this Zerg was 12 pulling you, which is the earliest form of aggression a Zerg could possibly do, you would still be in the base before the Lings are done. With a gateway scout. Right now, you'd be in the base while the pool is still under construction with a pylon scout. But if you did a gateway scout, which is 18 seconds later, you'd be in the base as the pool finishes and he starts making Lings. Like the eggs start forming, and it means you have 17 seconds before Lings pop out of the eggs. Like roughly. Might be a few seconds different depending on what map you do it on, but you will guaranteed, no matter what map you do it on, you will get into his base with a gateway scout as the pool finishes and as Lings have been started. And so you would literally get over here and be like, oh, there's a pool. There's literally like no drones on the mineral line, like not as many as there could be. There's no gases. And this dude has fucking 3 eggs currently under construction with the pool done. Looks very much like a 12 pool. If that's what it was. So like you would still see it before it happens. Like don't think that if you gateway scout that suddenly as your probe's right there, oh fuck, Lings, I'm dead. That doesn't happen that fast. Also, do not chrono boost a second time until your second pylon is done. So your Nexus is fucked up. Super hard. You're chrono boosting at awkward times, and it's causing up and down production of your probes. It's like literally just like really fast and then nothing. and then it's really fast again, and then it's nothing. And you're wasting your chronos because of this. So your first chrono should, because now it's also delaying things too. And you're only at 20 supply, which is when you should be taking a Nexus, but somehow you've already burned both your chronos, which is weird. It's because it's up and down. It's because you stop making probes. Like, I guarantee you're going to stop making probes. You just chronoed, and now probe production will stop because you're going to make your Nexus and probably your core. Like, don't chrono boost a second time. So, again, first chrono boost. There's 3 chrono boosts in early game, okay? Number 1 is your Nexus after the first pylon. Number 2 is your Nexus again after the second pylon. And then you pair the second chrono boost with a third chrono boost on your gateway at the same time you chrono boost your Nexus the second time. Why does this make sense? Because if you do the build correctly, you will be having a cybernetics core and a second pylon finishing roughly around the same time. So your supply will open from 23 above that, and it will also open you to make an adept, a stalker, or a sentry. Your build is already behind though. Also, don't ever do this. This looks like a corner to corner block. Like, I really feel like if you just shove the core to the right, it would fit above the gateway. Or would it? It's kind of hard to say, actually. I think there's actually one overlap right there. But it looks, what I'm trying to say here though is you actually could have put your core down by 1 and you would have been fine on the wall here. This is so close to the wall. Like, there's going to be a double overlap right there for like a third building. There's going to be double overlap on this core. You want there to be double overlap on your gate to your core rather than the wall. Why is that important? Because right now, if this person were to send lings at your base, if this person just attacked you with Zerglings, your Zealot guaranteed would have to tank 2 Zerglings at a time. Guaranteed. Maybe 3, depending on where you stand, for you to block the door properly. Because if you back up too far, he just runs around the sides of you. If you stay too far forward, he surrounds you like crazy. So that sweet spot to be in the middle, it's guaranteed you're going to be getting hit by 2 lings at a time. But the sweet spot's like right there. You'd be getting hit by 2 lings at a time. Whereas if the core went down by 1, you'd have an overlap of a lot more. You'd have a bigger hallway here to work with, and your Zealot could stand at the back of the hallway, and only 1 ling at a time could fit in. It makes your Zealot not die if you get pressured by shit. Like early pull. Like, again, this guy's not early pulling you, so it's who cares? It's not that big of a deal. But like, what if later on in the game, what if he does like a speed link pressure to you, and now the ling's gonna hit your Zealot more often? Like, it's gonna just pressure your battery more quickly. It's gonna deplete your battery's energy faster. At this point now too, I would say you don't need to be in his base anymore. I would say this scout is irrelevant, and here's how you can fix this. Also, don't make adepts. We'll see what you want to do. If you go Stargate though, don't fucking go adept. If you just make a blind battery and a stalker, who cares what he's doing, especially if you're opening Stargate. Because if you get all in, you'll be fine anyways. We'll see what you do. Yeah, do not go adepts. Don't ever go adepts again. Please don't do adepts anymore. Adepts are weaker defensively than stalkers are. And if you don't actually have an intention to use this to attack him, which you're not, don't make adepts. Also, the stalker can kill the Overlord too, which means you can eliminate his scout. Don't make adepts. Also, don't make a shield battery that close to the wall. So I'm giving you a lot of don'ts right now. I know. But don't make your battery this close to the wall. And why is that important? A battery can heal like about 5 range. And if you put your battery like right there, you could still heal the stalker in the doorway. And why is this important? Because right now where the battery is, roaches could walk up to your door and just kill it. Ravagers could corrosive violet from like out here, which is like barely even touching your stalker, like getting in the range of your stalker. Like, this battery could get picked off fucking super easy. This battery, if I was playing against you and I saw this battery on a Protoss and I wanted to all-in you, I would easily kill your battery and then you would die. Because the battery is the key to not dying to an all-in. So you need to put that shit a little bit further back, like there, so that if units do want to try to kill it, he can't just kill it with everything, like easily, like right there, and then run away. Like, he would need to walk into your doorway, which makes him take way more damage if he wants to try to snipe your battery, which it buys you time to do more damage to him, which, if we're talking about how much damage an army is able to absorb, if he takes more hits to try to kill your battery, that increases the chances that you're just going to break him. You know what I mean? Apparently, my US doppelganger is the same level as ViBE. What do you mean? My US doppelganger. That Lullabiv thing? That's actually me. That's my other account. Alright. So now you're going Void Rays. You're trying to take a third base now. Make sure when you take a third base, okay, so there's two things here that are really important. Number one is don't leave your doorway open. Like, you can send shit to go help your third, that's fine. But don't leave your doorway open. And I don't mind if you make adepts after the stalker, but just don't make adept first. So this is actually something I do personally. What I'll do is I will make sure my stalker's in my doorway. I will make a nexus, and I will make a pylon not directly next to it. I will make it have a one grid opening to make another doorway, and then put a pylon on the other side of it. I could do it like right there. I could do it like right here. I could do it like right there. I could do it probably not in the middle line, but between the middle line and the gas is okay. On either side, or on the side of the nexus is okay. Basically, the reason why this is important is because you fuck with the AI of Zerglings when you do this, and you can park your adept on the other side of the pylon in the doorway of where the lings are. So if your opponent has 20 fucking lings running like this at you right here, like coming this way and running down at the nexus, and you have a pylon right there that's one above the nexus, and your adept stands right there in the doorway to where only one ling at a time can hit the adept, it makes lings bottleneck into the fucking between the pylon and the nexus, and only one ling at a time hits you when the other lings are like being idiots just running in circles right here. And if the Zerg doesn't fix that by either focus firing the pylon or manually selecting lings and going up and around the pylon and coming around the back of the adept, and then having another one or two lings hitting the adept on the other side because you're tucked in between a pylon and a nexus, it just it adds more time. What it does is it increases the amount of time it takes for the adept to die, and the adept lasting longer means it also kills lings for a longer amount of time, and it also means that if that's happening, your Void Rays have more time to kill everything off of the nexus. The whole point is not letting your nexus get denied. So you need to do that shit ASAP, and don't leave this open. Leave your stalker in the doorway with the battery, because if he does a run by to you right now, you'll die. Like, if there were to be a run by going into your Nash right now, you would just die. Like, there was an opening there. Like, you might fix it now. Do what you do. But be careful about that. Don't let that be open for very long, because that's chance you could have died right there. Like, or chance that could have caused problems for you. Also, the pylons are too close. This pylon's good. That pylon's good. This pylon's too close to the nexus. Always gap it by one. And then, so you can use it, like I just said. This one's good, though, on the right side. But make sure your depths are standing in there, though. Don't have your depths standing in the middle of nowhere. And then lastly, the second one of your pylons is done, put a battery inside your middle line somewhere. Put a battery in the middle line. You really need to do that. Like, the second it's fucking done. Because you want to make sure you don't get fucked over if the Zerg does attack you. So a battery needs to start, like, right now, like right there. Right now. Or now, like right here. Don't do it in the open. Do not put batteries in the open, just because it's easily going to get killed. You want it to be a bit more tucked away, same reason as here. You want him to have to dive deeper into your shit for it. You can put future batteries in the front of your nexus, but for now, for the third base, this is a super exposed base. Put the battery behind the nexus. At this point, I would say this is when you're going to start having problems because you're trying to harass while trying to also macro. So what you need to do right now, you have two choices. Number one, you try to just get away with minor defense and more economy, so you'll just have a bigger army faster. Or make static D. You have two choices, and you should do both eventually anyways, but you can really choose one or the other right now. So if you chose for more army, what I would say you should do right now is literally make like 2 more Stargates right now, because you have a well-saturated third base. Make like 2 more Stargates, make like a fleet beacon, and take another base. And then maybe add in like 1 or 2 cannons at your third, at your fourth, and at your natural. You don't really need one yet in your main, because you're playing defensive anyways for the most part. You're just harassing it with a couple voids, but you're still going defensive. That is one way you could do this. A second way you can do this is add on just more cannons to your bases, still add on a fleet beacon, and add on maybe like add on 1 Stargate. If you're going to play the defensive option, basically what you want to do is as soon as you add on the fleet beacon, add on as many Stargates as you have Nexus. So if you're going to go to a 4th base, add on up to 4 Stargates. If you're going to stay on 3 base for a little bit longer and you're going to make cannons a little bit faster because you're more paranoid about dying, add on 1 Stargate and a fleet beacon because you're on 3 bases still. So, because you can't afford an extra Stargate. If you're on 3 bases, you can't really afford 4 Stargate production, especially if you're also making cannons. Now, behind that, what you should do, whatever you choose, I would say either 3 base or 4 base are both acceptable here for this. It's really just what you feel comfortable with. Like, do you need cannons or do you need more bases? But either 3 or 4 bases is where you'll stop for a second, whatever you choose, and you'll then make cannons for either one of those. But so like for instance, let me just say it like this: if you stop at 3 bases, you will make cannons right now. You'll make you'll make 3 Stargates, a fleet beacon. You'll make cannons, and we're talking literally like 5 cannons per natural at your natural, and like 5 cannons at your third, like a decent amount of cannons. And because you'll just be making, you're not making any gateway units, and then you'll be making ideally not Void Race forever. Void Race kind of blow ass like later on. You should ideally, like right around the time when your third starts to get saturated, you should probably get ready to start fleet beacon pretty soon after that. Like you want to be making carriers by like the time you have like 5 voids, like now. You'd want to be making carriers like now. If you go to a point where you have like 12 Void Rays and you get hit by like a Hydra timing, you're probably gonna die. Now, so well again, we'll talk about the three base rule here, the 3 base example. You'd want to be making cannons right now. You'd want to be going 3 Stargate fleet beacon and making triple carrier, and you'd want to be chrono boosting them while chrono boosting your upgrades. You would then also want to start a Templar Archives and then the Twilight Council and then a Templar Archives as well, as you have the gas for it. So you could go into Storm, and if this guy or Archon at the very least, but if you get hit, here's the thing though: if you get hit by Hydras, you actually kind of maybe want to have Storm. It is kind of important. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, okay, ViBE, you told me not to go Storm until I'm better at Micro, which means I'm probably gonna be more like Masters League. If you want to forego Storm, you're gonna need more than like 5 cannons. So the choice then for you would be slower expansions and more turtled aspects of your gameplay. So instead of 5 cannons at your third base and 5 cannons at your natural, it'd probably be more like 8 to 10 cannons at your third base and like 8 cannons at your natural. That would make more sense then, because you're skipping AoE and you need more physical DPS in your army. These are options. I would say either one of those work. Either one of those work. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. Either one works. And then if you're going to go for so you're making 5 cannons, good. So you're going for the 3 base rule, which is fine. If you were to go for the 4 base, 1 cannon would be good enough for now. Take your 4th base, make probes for your 4th base, and then do this. And then you do the same thing you would have done for your 3 base. You do it then. So then you would just have cannons and a bunch of Stargates and a fleet beacon then. Because you would be, instead of taking all these cannons, you'd already have a 4th started. You know what I mean? So it's either way works. You would have obviously more Void Rays with the 4 base. But the fact that your Stargates are kind of doing nothing, this is scary. They haven't been doing anything for a while either. Like, the cannons need to be in addition to using your Stargates. not a standalone. And just know too, the more defensive you're going to be, the actually faster you should take your fleet beacon. The more aggressive you're going to be, the more void rays you can make. So if your whole aggression is literally to fly over here and kill a gas and fly away, fly over here to kill a gas and fly away, if that's literally all you've done, and you've killed a couple other things, like a queen or an overlord here and there, that is not enough damage. Like, if you're going to go mass voids like this for a while, you're going to go like 7 or 9 voids, like, you need to get a lot of damage done. This number for Zerg needs to be like 30 units lost with like 2,000 resources lost or something for this to be okay. Like, that's a minimum. This is definitely below minimum damage. Like, the Zerg could fucking run you over. Like, this is not enough to slow the Zerg down. And he could run you over still, is what I'm saying. But if he just has a Hydra timing, you could die. Especially if it hits your natural right now, because your natural is very undefended. Okay, what I want you to start doing, this is what I want you to start doing, okay? Because you're doing 4 base anyways, so you're doing, like, I think 4 base is totally fine. I personally would like 4 base too if I were you. 3 base is one of those things where it's like super turtly, and you will eventually take a 4th, but here's what I want you to do. This is what I think you should do. You should be taking your 3rd base by around 4 minutes, okay? You should be taking your 4th base by around 6 minutes. That's when it should start. Your 4th base should start around 6 minutes. You should do this all off of 1 Stargate. Not 2 Stargates early. 2 Stargate Void Ray is a bit much early, especially for how little damage you've done with it. At 6 minutes, you will be making probes still constantly. You'll be chrono boosting your probes. You'll have good saturation. You'll be still saturating towards your 4th base. You'll have pylons set up and everything. And then I want you to go for an initial, like, as soon as you start your 4th base, literally go Stargate, 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 Fleet Beacon. And as those are building, go cannon, 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 battery, cannon, battery, cannon, battery, cannon, battery. And do not saturate your gases at your 3rd base or your 4th base until you're fully fucking saturated on the mineral line. Gases in your main and your natural can easily support this. And that's it. So don't take your gases at your 3rd and your 4th until your mineral lines are fully saturated. And why does this make sense? Because you're going to go for a fuckload of cannons, which cost no gas, and batteries, which cost no gas. That's why. Then, once you have all your cannons thrown down and your batteries thrown down, we're talking like literally 8 cannons. We'll say 8 cannons and 2 batteries, okay? Per base. That's exposed. So 8 cannons and 2 batteries at your 3rd, at your 4th, and at your natural. That's a lot of cannons. That's a lot of fucking cannons. And then as soon as your Stargates are done and your Fleet Beacon's done, you can still make carriers out of those too, because you will still have enough gas to do that off of your first 2 gases, because you're delaying your Stargates for so long that you'll have a little bit of a gas bank by the time that happens. You'll easily be able to do it. But then to be able to maintain production out of your Stargates, you'll need more gas, but by then you'll be done with making cannons, and then you can take gases 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you'll be going into full-fledged SKYTOSS. Don't even go Storm. Don't even go Twilight, or you can go Twilight Council for shield upgrades, but don't even go Storm for now. Just see if you can do this build the way I just said it. And then if you missed it and you're like, wait, what did he say? You can just go back and listen to what I just said again in the VOD. Like 2 minutes ago. But that's it. If you just do that, you'll have enough, guaranteed you'll have enough resources to do everything. To do all the setup of everything, all your defense, and then you'll go SKYTOSS, and then you can add in a mothership. Once you have all production of your carriers going and you're good to go and you're chrono boosting your upgrades done at that point. So also don't chrono boost your upgrades until your Nexus have fully set, like until you're kind of done, until you're on like 70 plus probes, then start chrono boosting your upgrades on your core and your forge. And you can go, once you're at that point and you're like, okay, well, all my Stargates are producing carriers and I have a little bit of extra gas now, add in a mothership and also add in a robo facility And then the robo facility is going to be literally designed to make like 2 or 3 observers. That's it. That can just go with your army, so you don't get fucked over by burrow, or you can also then kill creep and stuff like that. And that'll be the whole build, literally. That's it. Like that's what you should do. But like, look at your gas right now, for instance. Like, you just spin some of it on carrier, and you still are so fucking high. And it's because you're mining gas at your 3rd, while you're trying to set up cannons at your 4th. Like, you can't really afford cannons now either. Like, it's such a disparity. So, luckily enough for you, he's hitting the most defensed base you have. From the angle that's the most defense. This is like the luckiest attack of your life. And if you make a shield battery overcharge right now, this isn't even a guarantee you're going to hold this either, which is the crazy thing, because your Stargates had so much idle time. So this is like, that's why your army supply is not as high as his, because look at the income tab too. Like, you have more probes and less army. So his army supply is actually 93, yours is 54. So it's kind of fucking scary. Which is why, again, there's like a mineral priority. That's why this makes sense, because then you could actually maintain production out of your 1 Stargate the whole time, which would give you an army that's just as big as it is now, but you would have a defense like this everywhere already. And you honestly would have more probes than you do, even now. And you would have this base would like already be fully saturated by like 8 minutes. If you did a 6-minute 4th base. Yeah, you'll be fine. But if that attack hit your 3rd base up here, or sorry, your 4th base up here, this base would have been canceled. You would never have been able to held that. So the sequence of what I just told you will definitely help you get this kind of defense on every base. And again, try to go for 8 cannons and 2 batteries on every base. That's fine. 8 cannon, 2 battery for your first 4 bases. And that's really your first 3 bases that are not your main. So 3rd, 2nd, and 4th base should be 8 cannon, 2 battery. And also, don't over focus as well the doorway. Like, for instance, don't focus all your defense in the front of your base. Kind of like surround your nexus with it. Like, do some cannons here, some cannons here, some cannons here, some cannons here, maybe 1 cannon there. Battery, battery. The reason why is because what if this Zerg player would have gone like this? And up. Like, all your cannons are up here and he could just be right here fucking your nexus up. Or like killing your cannons while they're all like out of range of helping you. And your army has to fight here because your probes are dying and your nexus is dying. You know what I mean? Don't over defend like the outside of one spot when you can just walk in another spot. The only way it would make sense to defend this here. The only way it would make sense to defend this location here so heavily is if this location was actually defending here. And I would never tell you, yeah, go ahead and wall that off with your first fucking pylon and core, because if a Zerg just did speed link pressure on either side of your other base, they could just run right into your fucking base and kill you, right? So you gotta keep in mind that this is still an entrance to your base. Don't just ignore that. Like, I'm not saying defend this as well. What I'm saying is just defend your nexus overall. Don't defend this location only. And now you're too low on Stargates. You should definitely have... Okay, well, you're making 2 more. So you have the right idea. Just a bit late, though. This is a bit late. You should be making these Stargates as the priority first. So, again, 1 Stargate until you're on 4 bases, and then you make 3 Stargate Fleet Beacon. All at once. You could also even make the Twilight Council at the same time. So you could go into shield and weapon upgrades all the way to 3-3. But yeah. You should be making the, maybe 1 cannon and 1 battery at your all your Nexus. And then you make all your Stargate and your Fleet Beacon. And then you make, as you're waiting for the Stargates to finish, then you're making your cannons at your bases. I would say prioritize your 3rd and 4th first. Do the natural last. You could probably even get away with maybe 4 cannons at your natural. I'm not going to lie. 4 to 5 cannons would be fine here because you have a wall that will help you. So but you can literally get away with, we'll just say 4 cannons at your natural, 8 cannons at your 3rd, 8 cannons at your 4th. And there you go. What's up, chat? What's up, guys? I'm doing a replay analysis, but I hope you guys are doing well. What up, everybody? And then all it should be then is you just literally pumping carriers out as fast as you can. You can chrono boost carriers, and you can also chrono boost your weapon upgrade. I would say don't chrono boost your forge unless you have excess chrono boost. Chrono boosting the carriers themselves and the weapon upgrade is priority. Shield upgrade is less priority. And now you gotta realize as well you have way too many probes. So you gotta stop making probes. Once you fully saturate a 4th base, you should get ready to take your 5th base. And then it follows the same rule, but you just, with the 5th base, you take that when your main base starts mining out. You don't make more probes then though. You kind of stop making probes around like 85. Just stop making probes around 85. And then just use the new nexus you make to make, again, we'll say 8 cannons and 2 batteries. We'll make those cannons every base you make from then on, for the rest of the game. Every new base you make. But then you just use those new bases to transfer existing probes to that are oversaturated. And it's just literally turtle, just fucking turtle until you have maxed out carriers. And a mothership. Yeah, and you're starting to run away with the game now. If your probe count was a little bit less, you could have like an extra 2 carriers essentially. Which is, the 2 carriers is a lot when you're comparing like 15 carriers to like 17 carriers. I don't know how confident you are with Storm, but I mean if you are confident with Storm, you can always add it into your army. It's not actually bad. It's definitely good, but it requires a lot more micro. We'll see how you micro it. I mean, I will say this. Luckily for you, Templars have an auto attack because I can see you're doing F2A move, which means if your Templars did not have an auto attack, they would walk into the Hydras and just straight up die. So that makes it better for you. Ideally, you'll want, if you eventually keep doing this, you'll want to get into the position though eventually where you make Templars in their own control group, so they don't just walk in and die to everything. But if you feel confident to use Templars, I'm not going to stop you. This army is very easily A move. This army is super A move. It's A move and just storm. It's very fucking simple. So I'll say yeah, it's okay. You can use Templars with this. It's fine. If you feel confident. You should definitely make a mothership though with this army. It makes this army like 10 times harder to kill for Zerg because it makes it confusing to fight against. And keep in mind too, like this right here, you have 6 cannons you have 6 cannons in the front of your base right here. That's fine. Try to, I don't mind the way this looks. Maybe put like 2 batteries like there and there. You can put cannons around your nexus, but maybe put like 1 or 2 cannons on the sides of your nexus. The reason why, and maybe also if you imagine like if I could grab your cannons that are up there and like pull them back to the nexus a little bit, just like pull them back a little bit. Why is this important? You are so open to air attacks. You're also so open to a Nidus. You are also so open to drops. This middle line is so undefended. You are also open to Lings just running by the cannons and going in here. Like you have no actual defense on the middle line. Again, same thing here. You have no defense against the middle line. If mutas came over here and just fucking wiped out your probes, the mutas wouldn't even get punished for it. So I do want you to kind of like pull your defense back to your nexus a little bit more. And I want you to at least put like 1 or 2 cannons inside the middle line a little bit. Every base you have is like this. It's all exposed middle lines. If I was against you and I went mutas, I would fucking wipe all your probes for nothing. I mean, oh, look at all the cannons. They're all super exposed. I'll just kill all the probes now. Super easy probe killing all day. No cannons anywhere near the probe line. So, yeah, just pull your cannons back a little bit and make sure you have at least one cannon in the middle line, too. Because one of the most annoying things is if a Zerg player does, like, let's say a Zerg player does a run-by to all your middle lines. So he, like, moves lings there. He moves lings here. He moves lings here. He moves lings here. In the back. Like, there's a chance that your cannons will be out of range to shoot the lings while he just wipes your fucking mineral line. But if you have a cannon, just like one cannon that's in range, like right there, and other cannons all over here, closer, other cannons can cover the one cannon. And what the big thing is about that one cannon is it's in range of the probes to aggro the lings. Like the lings, if they don't focus fire your probes or hold position or whatever, if he just A-moves your mineral line, it will A-move the cannon that's in the mineral line because it's a hostile target in the mineral line. So your probes don't just fucking die all over the place. So this is super risky, the way you're positioning your cannons. It's too far forward. Also, you really need observers. If I again, another thing is if I was against you, again, like if someone of the caliber of understanding how to use an infestor, all they would have to do to kill you, let's say they have 20 infestors. And like 2 of them, Neural Parasite, a Templar, and they just storm your fucking Templars. Like they make you storm yourself, and then all your Templars die. Because a Templar will die in 2 fucking storms. So you just go storm, storm, and you run through it, and your Templars die. And then he Neural Parasites all of your fucking carriers. Or even not even, he honestly doesn't even have to storm your Templar. He could just Neural Parasite your carrier, and the carrier would kill the Templar. This is only 11 carriers. 11 infestors could kill this army. Because you have 0 detection. So make sure you, and also you have no way to kill, you're not punishing him at all with this creep. So if for whatever reason the Zerg does defend you, I mean he's pretty dead. But if the Zerg ever did defend your army, and you don't reset his creep at all, you just give a Zerg an ability to recover really fast. And look, there you go, look at the cannons. They're not even killing the drones even though they're like in your mineral line. That could have been like, you know, imagine if that was roaches doing a run-by or some shit, or like something like that. But yeah, overall, you have the right idea. You have the right idea. A little bit of a cleanup, and suddenly it'll feel a lot better. But yeah, do the opener the way I was saying, and you'll feel a lot more success, I guess. Because I do think your 4th base was super late. If you're gonna go 4 bases really early. Which is totally, your 4 bases early is fine. You just have to have it be a priority. Excuse me. But you have the right idea though. This build is super strong. Last thing I'll say is this. If your opponent just goes Hydras all day, the composition you used minus the mothership was good. Like, let your Void Rays eventually die off and don't rebuild them. Just go pure carrier with some Templars and a mothership and some observers. And your composition against Hydra-based armies is amazing. However, if your opponent goes Corruptors and they're actually kind of hard to deal with, you're like, okay, he's got a fucking strong Corruptor army. It's a lot of them. Make like 3 or 4 Archons. Just adds a couple Archons into your army, and it will add so much fucking pressure to the Corruptor. And that's it. That's all it is. So other than that, good shit. Good job, Dingles. I definitely, you know, you clean up your opening macro and really fix your probe chronos and shit. You're just scouting.
Great analysis for the fan.
Because, like, yo, thank you very much, Big Archon. Because, like, shit like how you kind of did, like, bad chronos and you had bad Nexus uptime on the probe production early on. If you fix that, you will actually do things like where it's like, oh, 4-minute third, 6-minute fourth. Wow, these are way more realistic because your economy will flow better if you don't have such weird hiccuped openings of your economy. And yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked it. Thank you. Shout out to Dingles. Thank you for doing another replay analysis, dude. Hope this helps you. And guys, good luck to you if you want to play SKYTOSS. I'll see you in the next video. So until then, good luck. Take it easy. Go check out more replay analysis videos that I've done, or more coaching lessons, whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, good luck and peace out, guys. See you.